Liverpool's chances of finishing in the top four in the Premier League were dealt a blow on Monday evening when they were defeated 3-1 at Brentford. The Reds deservedly leave West London empty-handed, an appropriate punishment for their sloppy and rogue defence throughout. It's been their season story. Opta reports that they've given up 51 big chances this season, which is up to twice as many as the 5 teams above them in the table. Liverpool was not always like this, and to suggest otherwise is revisionist history. While they were defensively vulnerable early on under Jurgen Klopp, Virgil van Dijk signalled a shift in approach at the back, with more controlled aggression and fewer gaps open. That procedure has now been reversed. Whereas the Reds used to suffocate teams and bully them into submission, they've lost that extra edge champions require, and that swagger is now slipping and being misconstrued as arrogance. It was a standard that gradually crept in last season. They were saved in several big games by VAR's infamously thin offside lines and their world-class goalkeeper. Those inches haven't been enough to save them this time. The margins required to be where Liverpool was even a few months ago are so small with this reckless style. Perhaps their defensive stability has been hampered in part by Sadio Mane's departure, an energetic presser and simply one of the best players in the world, and his replacement, Darwin Núñez, failing to make the immediate impact. Klopp's Liverpool have always been a team that can defend and attack in the same breath, as Van Dijk's absence in a struggling 2020-21 season showed. At Brentford, Trent Alexander-Arnold was one of their best attacking threats, but he was surprised by the Bees' second goal. Kostas Tsimikas was a disaster and was quickly replaced at half-time by Andy Robertson, who brought the energy needed to help Liverpool. Their efforts were ultimately futile, and the mountain was too difficult to climb. Liverpool have not showed their previous attacking threat in order to get away with such defensive lapses, and they will not contend for major honours again until both situations improve. Liverpool's inability to turn over a squad in need of refreshing is understandable given that it is still largely made up of players who played every single game available to them last season, a ridiculous feat that is underappreciated in larger circles, but the cracks are much more visible. There is at least an acknowledgement that they require reinforcements on both ends. Cody Gakpo adds depth to an attack that needs immediate goal contributions, and their aggressive pursuit of Jude Bellingham shows that they still have continent-wide respect. A couple of new defenders wouldn't hurt either. Whether Klopp's voice is simply less effective within the Anfield dressing room walls or he has simply turned a blind eye to this malaise, he has failed to halt the slide, and it is now his responsibility to find a solution. His track record suggests he'll find it, but the bottom line is that Liverpool need to be tougher defensively if they want to finish in the top four.